Alright, so I gotta respond to the metric thing. You people are fucking stupid. Anybody that has said to me, you don't understand the metric system. I understand the fucking metric system, you morons. I understand that the hardness is printed at the top. You either have, 8.8, 10.9, whatever else, so on and so forth. They don't coincide with grade 5, grade 8, or grade 12. You can figure that out, but we don't have charts for that stuff. The bolts on the top of the turtle are not worn out. There is no time ever that material comes in contact with the head of those bolts. I just cannot believe that people will accept with blind stupidity that there is literally 27 different combinations to a metric bolt system. Whereas when you go to the standard, you, for the most part, unless it's a specialty order item, the head to a 1/2 inch is 3/4. The head to a 5/8 is 15/16. The head to a 7/8 is 1 1/8 inches. It's what it is. It always has been and always will be. You have any hardness that you have, whether it's a grade 2, grade 5, grade 8, grade 12, and everything in between, which there shouldn't be, but there could be if it's made in China. Makes no difference. It's all in the markings at the top of the fucking head. So, and I'm not going to explain those because to me, they're confusing and stupid. They should just put a number on it, like, oh, G2, G5, G8, G12. Simple, right? Now, we got this fucked up line system that if you're from Europe, you are not going to understand it. You have to look it up. But, you know, metric bolts actually put those hardnesses on there. Now, when I was stating that these fucking bolts loosen up, they loosen up. So if I take a bolt and I torque it to whatever Newton meters, like it says in the chart that you have for the length and the pitch of the bolt and the hardness of the bolt dry, it'll loosen up. Don't give a fuck what you say. You are not that brilliant. You may be in fucking Europe or wherever the fuck it is you're from that these things work in. Maybe that's the difference. Maybe we get shit metric stuff, but we're getting metric stuff here. There is no standard to it. It is one of 3 threads. It is one of 3 heads that will take one of 3 wrenches to take off, and sometimes 2. The only one that I'm aware of in the standard system that takes 2 wrenches is 7/16. And the engineer that did that needs his dick cut off because he's too fucking stupid to reproduce. It takes an 11/16 and a 5/8. So if you see a nut that is 11/16 or an odd looking, if the nut doesn't match the head of the bolt, more than likely it's a 7/16. You know what the simple solution to that is? Drill the motherfucker out and put a 1/2 inch in there, because 7/16 wastes your time. And people don't really use them anyway. They're just not common. A lot of times a 7/16 bolt will be on a blind-sided weldment nut that's on the back side of something. I've seen that, and that's okay because you just get your 5/8 inch socket. Now, duh. All right. And don't tell me that I don't understand 1s and 10s. I understand the pitch of the damn thread as well, right? So if I have a 13 thread, that's 13 threads within an inch in the standard. The metric one, it's either 1.5 millimeter between the threads, or a 1 millimeter between the threads, or a 3/4 millimeter between the threads, or 0.75, or whatever you want to call it. 3/4 is 0.75 if you haven't figured that out. And when you have a metric bolt that is 2.5 millimeters, that's 2.5 millimeters. They're going to the fractional size. Don't tell me I don't understand what the fuck I'm looking at. God, I could show you like I did in that video, and you stupid autophallacia fools will tell me, you're wrong, you just don't understand it. You know, go look up autophallacia, because that's what you fucking people do in your spare time. If you don't know what it is, I encourage you. And you're probably too fat and lazy to be able to do it anyway. So, there's my rant for the day, okay? You stupid motherfuckers. I think metric sucks. You can think that standard sucks because you've been taught that metric is the best thing on this planet, right? There's nothing better. Well, okay. Your mom told you you were smart when you were born and a little boy. You grow up to find out that you're dumb as the rock in the driveway. Holy shit. You mean to tell me a government agency is going to implement metric and tell me it's the best thing ever and we should all use it, when the fact and reality is there is actually something better out there? It's not metric. You have got to have stock in the Loctite company in order to use metric here in the United States. And quite honestly, the most powerful engines on this planet are built in the fractional sizes, like 6 1/4 bore by a 5.5 inch stroke. You know, those things. Oh, they don't say, oh, well, you know, and then we go to liters, which is a liquid measurement, instead of cubic inches of displacement, or cubic meters of displacement, or cubic centimeters of displacement. No, they go with liters, which is a liquid measurement, like a quart or a cup. Whatever. I can't tell you how fucked up you people are and how fucked up your ideas are. Just accept the fact that here in the United States, when a mother and a brother get together, they create the metric system. It is simple, right? You know, mom and son get together, they make a simple-minded person that can't understand anything outside of ones and tens and zeros. So there you go. There's my rant for the day. Probably not even going to monetize it, but this is for you special people that have probably never turned a wrench in your life, or you're an engineer that designed it that way because somebody above you told you, well, this is how it's got to be, so you got to work with it. And you guys could fuck up a wet dream, like put a starter in underneath the intake manifold on a Lexus. I'll bet the engineer that did that was definitely a product of great-grandchild and grandpa. That's what that is right there. Holy shit.